Welcome into DC On Screen, a podcast about the DC Universe properties being brought to film and television. I'm your host, David C. Robertson, and this, the man who has failed our city, Jason.
Hello.
I don't know how you failed the city, but I'm sure you have.
I didn't question it for one damn second. I was just like, sure.
Yep,
that thing I did.
About right. All right. So tonight we're going to be talking about Arrow season 4. What to expect. This is our official DC on-screen preview. Though we've pretty much been talking about this all summer.
Oh yeah.
So
all of our news has started out with 30 minutes of what Stephen Amell was up to that week.
Right.
It's not our fault either. He's just really active and always tells everyone about what he's doing.
He does. So, when we last left Oliver and his band of Arrowites,
you would use the word Motley Crue if it weren't for the 80s.
Yeah, I would use Motley Crue if it weren't for the 80s.
His
damn you, Tommy Lee.
Group of vagabonds. I don't know.
So when we left those guys, Arrow and Felicity had finally started shagging, I guess, and had gone off to not be vigilantes. And Diggle was pissed off because Oliver, under the guise of being the next Ra's al Ghul, kidnapped his wife and kid. You know, little things like that.
We've all been there.
Thea had been resurrected via the Lazarus Pit, and John Barrowman, or Malcolm Merlyn, is the new Ra's al Ghul.
Sure.
So as we know,
thankfully Moira's gone. has been for quite some time, but I was just happy to see her not resurrected.
Who was this that wasn't resurrected?
Moira. That name I can never say correctly.
Moira.
Yeah. And did I ever tell you this? I genuinely, at the end of last season, I actually thought to myself, phew, she didn't come back. I was worried.
Now, I would not put it past the writers of this show to introduce a character maybe in season 5, a shadowy character. So we've already done this big bad guy is Malcolm Merlyn, and he's this guy, and he's evil, right. But he thinks he's doing good. Season 2, we have Slade Wilson, who's on a vengeance kick, trying to destroy Oliver's. Yeah. So then season 3, Ra's al Ghul, who wants Oliver to be the next heir. Ra's al Ghul. Season 4, Damien Darhk. We bring in magic. Season 5, a bad guy that we can't even see, and it turns out to be Moira.
It would be, and it would be that she's actually part of Earth 2. Came in through the flash hole.
That would be interesting.
Yeah, got
here.
Can we
call it the hold on? Can we call it the flash hole? Can we just keep calling it the flash hole?
We can. We absolutely can. And she came in through the hole, came here, didn't know what the hell she was doing, and gets trained by Komodo of all people.
Now, see, I didn't take that route. In my mind, I took the route that it would be the fact that Moira has connections with what would be in the Arrowverse, the Illuminati, who would, of course, have connections with the League of Assassins. And as soon as she was killed, they pretended to bury her and then took her and resurrected her from the Lazarus Pit.
Of course. As one
That
would
was
do.
my first thought.
As one would
However, one person we know is getting resurrected is Sarah Lance, the sister of Laurel, and apparently Laurel has no more learning curve. She's just out and out Black Canary at this point.
Yeah, and they did that perfunctorily. At least he had declared her trained, like towards the end of last couple episodes of the season, right? Mm-hmm. I mean, that didn't mean she still didn't look like completely awkward doing those scenes, and it doesn't mean that we're going to be reprieved of that going forward, unfortunately.
Right.
They've
been playing it up. They've been playing it up like
Cassidy train runs.
Yeah, they've been playing it up like Katie Cassidy's character, Laurel, fights poorly because she just isn't good yet. And to be fair, most of the time when we see her, it's a stunt double. So I'm going to go ahead and hope that is what they were doing, because it would be stupid if, she took a couple of boxing lessons from Ted Grant, and then
Right.
all of a sudden she can, do backflips and whatnot, like Roy or something. Because for the most part, the choreography on the show is pretty damn impressive.
Oh yeah, Roy in particular was one of those characters that kind of upped the ante. I mean, they never said he got trained anywhere. He was just extremely elegantly even streetwise.
Right.
Right. One of the first fights you see of this cat, he walks up to a group of guys and starts parkouring their ass to death.
Right. So,
like you pointed out, though, first time you ever see Laurel fight, she kind of does okay. I mean, this was a while back, but she did just fine. And then every time we've seen her since, stilted, at the very least, stilted.
Yeah, it's weird. But anyway,
I was concerned that you were eventually going to be right and that they had spent all this time hoping to turn her into the Black Canary and couldn't because she just didn't train well enough.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. So this season is also going to be. Now we've been hearing all summer that it's going to be a lighter tone show. It's going to be more in line with The Flash. Now Stephen Amell has come out, like we reported earlier this week, that he came out and said that there is no lighter tone to the show. He doesn't know where that's coming from. Arrow is Arrow. So I'm disappointed in that a little bit.
I am. I'm disappointed on many levels. I mean, we went over it before, though. It come on, dude. You said what it was going to be, so go with it. I'm still leaning towards my theory that it was a lighter tone show, and then eventually he got a script, read through it, and realized, oh, okay, all right.
Yeah, they're not doing anything differently. Never mind.
They're going to make me be dour all season after all, aren't they?
Or maybe that's the only way he knows how to act. I don't know. I really don't know.
It can't be. You've seen footage of the actual guy. He's extremely upbeat, outgoing. He's an extrovert.
Yeah.
I feel like it's extremely good acting for him to sit there and act like he doesn't want to just go freaking party on the whole scene.
Yeah. So this season, we know that we're going to jump ahead. Felicity and Oliver are, they appear to be living out in the suburbs somewhere.
Coast City, presumably.
Everyone believes that Ray Palmer is dead, though we know he's not.
Right.
And they've renamed the city Star City because that's
in honor of that guy who was there for 2 months.
Yeah, right. So, yeah, that's fun. And something's wrong with Thea. We know something's wrong with Thea. She's apparently still suffering from the effects of the Lazarus pit because people don't come out the same way.
Right. And there's a nice shot in the I think it's the second trailer that she looks like she's about ready to stab somebody. Just they're already down, run them through, and you see Speedy. Come on, like it was exactly the same. This is how long ago did I express this fear that they're going to do the Roy storyline again? Mm-hmm. Exactly the same storyline, same freaking costume, everything.
Yeah. Now, they're also bringing in new people. They're bringing in Rutina Wesley as Liz Warner, or Lady Cop, as she was known in the comics back in the 70s when she mattered for about half a second. Mm-hmm. And she's going to be on an anti-vigilante task force, it appears, that Lance is Quentin Lance is spearheading. But that's a storyline. That's a storyline that I
back
really
and forth
wish
on that, hadn't he?
Yeah, I really wish they'd wrap that up and just have him be, Commissioner Gordon to the Arrow's Batman. Because I'm just tired of him being like, the Arrow's a good guy. He's a pretty good guy. I'm going to help him out. Oh, I got a phone call from the Arrow. Where do I find the guy? And then 2 episodes later, it's like, this all started with you.
Right.
I hate vigilantes.
Like every time you change it, it diminishes his gravity as a decision maker.
It does. And my ardent hope for this season is that they kill him off.
Okay.
I'm not joking.
Right. I'll take you one further. I hope they kill him off and they bring in his wife instead, or his ex-wife.
That would be wonderful. Alex Kingston?
Hell
please,
yes.
Please. So, yeah, kill off Quentin. His character has served as his purpose, and I'm not really sure what that purpose was.
Exactly. His purpose, as much as I like the actor, and honestly don't feel like it's his fault that I don't like his character as much as I do. Man, he really, that's the heart of it. What has been his purpose this entire series? He was there to be the guy who arrested, the Hood. And then it was interesting to see him be the guy who was kind of on the side. Like, he did get to play Gordon for a second, essentially. And then we see him go through some family stuff. And the family stuff was kind of interesting at Pite, here and there. But now we've just got this doddering old man. I say doddering because apparently his heart falls apart if you surprise him. And he's still on the street, and he can't decide how he feels about vigilantes in general.
Yeah.
And he kind of knows, like, they had a conversation in season 3, somewhere in the middle. I want to say it was somewhere in the middle of 3. He knows exactly who Oliver was, or he did before Oliver came out and said who he was.
Yeah. And, now they're doing this thing where, like in the trailer, he sees Laurel in the Black Canary costume, and he's like, Laurel? I'm like, how did you not know that she was how? How did you not figure that? You mentioned that you kind of figured it out last season. I understand.
First of all, you've already mentioned that. Second, how did you not extrapolate everything else from it? Third, how did a character like Sin have to tell you something? You're the freaking chief of police at one point. You're heading task forces for the. Oh, come on, man.
At this point, they could transplant Quentin Lance. What? Quentin Lance.
Clanton Wentz, yes, absolutely.
Over to Brooklyn Nine-Nine and have him sit with Scully and the other dude, like the shitty detectives,
right?
And no one
fat
would,
guys that are really
notice.
fucking funny. Yeah.
Like he's actively bad. He's not a good detective. He's not bright.
No,
and if he is, he doesn't show it.
He's gone back and forth on these things so many times that I don't give a damn what he thinks anymore. Honestly, you ask someone what they want for breakfast, they're like, Jack's, McDonald's, Jack's, McDonald's, Jack's. After a while, you just get them Waffle House because you don't give a goddamn what they actually think anymore. They're getting what they got.
Right.
That's where we are with Lance at this point. And the crazy part is, like, let's go to Brooklyn Nine-Nine. If you send him over with the current personality and send him to Brooklyn Nine-Nine, I would say, yeah, sit him with those two and let him be the non sequitur. If you sent over the British version of this guy, his actual self, I would tell you he should be the new captain. Exactly.
Yeah.
No, that's a perfect replacement. We're good here. Keep the show going.
Don't misunderstand us. Brooklyn Nine-Nine is not part of the canon by any stretch. Don't go say, "Oh, how have I missed that?" Yeah, that's not real in the Arrowverse.
No, it's not.
Yeah. Anyway, so one I'm excited about though is Echo Kellum as Mr. Terrific.
Yes, he is going to be a lot of fun.
He seems like he's got to be a lot of fun. Back to not excited, Jerry Ryan as Jessica Danforth, who's apparently running for some sort of office and will be killed summarily.
I think you said episode 3. I vote completely on the side of Dave on that one. I say episode 3, she dies.
I give her until episode 5 or 6.
You said 3. Like episode 3 is called the candidate, isn't it?
She's introduced in episode 3, I think.
Oh, is it? She just introduced. Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
And Alicia Rotoro as Oliver's love interest in the flashbacks. I am completely disinterested in the flashbacks at this juncture. They've given up
which is crazy, right? Because season 1, that was the main selling point.
Yeah, season 1, and most of season 2, the best parts were the flashbacks in my mind. But once they got away from telling the story of the flashbacks while also offering thematic components that matched the present day storyline, once they got away from that,
right,
I lost interest. Because, and so far, it seems like now we're heading, he looks like he's going to be in Coast City. So now it looks like we're going to be dealing with like Oliver spending more time off the island than he ever was on it, which doesn't make a lot of sense for the first season when, he's like sleeping by the window and shit. Like, don't send him to Russia. Strand him back on the island mid-season. Get him out of Coast City. Strand his ass back on the island. Have everything else that we need to figure out about his character, make that like everyone comes to him. The Russians come to him. They won't do that though.
No, of course they're not, and they can't. His tenure in Russia involved high-level mafia, penetration. He can't really. He's got to go there. You can't phone that out.
Well, we're looking at, this is the 4th year, right? So he was only on the island supposedly for 5 years.
Right.
By the time he's supposed to be found, he's supposed to have like a huge full beard and hair down to his tits.
Right. So, and wearing the skin of 1,000 mills.
Right. So, yeah, I don't know. I don't know how that's going to play out. Like, I am going to be pissed
say it's
if he doesn't go back to that island.
Or it's going to be year 4, spent mostly in Russia. For whatever reason, he ends up back on the island in season 5. And I think it ends up being like a choice to get himself there, but kind of a suicidal choice. Because he was very suicidal early in the series. He was very, if I die today, kind of like...
No.
Dark Knight Returns, this would be a good death.
But he can't go back to the island by choice because, look at the fervor in which he, like, tried to get off the island in the pilot episode.
Well, yeah, but you can do stuff like that. You can, put it in fate's hands. I'm going to go back to the island, and I'm going to try to get off. But if I don't, that was obviously what was intended for me.
I think he gets dumped there for some reason or another.
Nothing nearly that existential.
Yeah. Now,
I think it will be, though, season 4 Russia, year 4 Russia, year 5 island, and then we're back. And then that gets us back into what the hell are you going to do with the previous or the foregoing seasons, but that's a problem for a different era.
Now, we're also getting Parker Young playing Alex Davis, who is apparently going to be some sort of political figure or perhaps an acquaintance of maybe Jerry Ryan's character or something. Either way, he's a new love interest for Thea. So, boo.
Yeah, so, it's not his fault. I just already hate him.
And she'll apparently, like Speedy or Thea will also apparently have some sort of connection, I've heard, to Anarchy. So.
Oh, I hadn't even heard that.
Yeah. But yeah,
maybe
so
that'll be
right now, jumping back to the flashbacks though, we know that he is going to be like facing off against Shadowspire and Baron Ryder. So I'm almost certain that at least the first half of this season, the flashbacks will be in Coast City.
Why do you say?
Because he's in Coast City, we know that. That's what they've said. Wait. That's what they keep saying.
Well, they find him in Coast City, but they kind of bring him back like real quick, right?
I don't know.
See, I was thinking it was going to be, first few scenes of episode 1, we were in Coast City, and look how happy they are, and look at this nice proposal dinner he's whipped up, and etc. And then Cockblock of the Century comes over, pulls him back. They all end up in another city, and
I'm uncertain because I don't remember actually ever seeing that he was going to Coast City with Felicity.
Well, in the show, no, he just drove off into the sunset.
Oh, not in any press releases or anything, or any news clips or anything. But I do seem to remember that they said that he was going to be in Coast City in the flashbacks. And I'm pretty sure at the end of the season, in the flashbacks, Amanda Waller told him that he was going to Coast City.
Okay.
Now, I might be wrong about that.
No, that would be interesting. That's possible. Also, there's no reason that say that aborted proposal has to take place in real time.
Right.
All of that suburban happiness they were half developing there for a second could just be something we're flashing back to in the first few episodes, which I gotta admit would kind of disappoint me. I kind of want him to come back to a Brady Bunch feel for just a second, just enough to give me a different taste on the tip of my tongue.
Yeah. No. So we know this season we've got to deal with Thea and love interest blah. And Thea with her Roy syndrome, season 2 Roy syndrome, blah. And
just they keep finding new ways to bore me with Thea.
Yeah. And
at this
now
point, you had to bring in Constantine to make me watch the fucking episode.
And now they've brought in Diggle having a problem with Oliver. So we've got to figure out a way to resolve that relationship. Bleh.
I think it's going to involve that bullet. It's going to be you took a bullet for me.
Yeah, maybe. But, you know, the interesting thing for Diggle this season is, one, he's got a terrible new costume.
All right, now you say costume as though that's a whole new design. He just put a helmet on his normal leather jacket.
I know. That helmet looks awful.
He looks like a
big. He just looks like a big helmet-clad dick running around.
Yeah, a little bit. Kind of looks like a motorcycle racer after the crash.
Right. He's like sort of the I don't know, motorcycle gang version of Magneto.
No, they pulled this off of the set of Star Wars for a TIE fighter that only had to be shown from the back. They didn't actually have to put the face mask on. Mm-hmm. Sprayed a little bit of copper on that bitch and tossed it on his head.
Right.
Which sounds very Lucas-y, actually.
It looks bad. It looks like little mini Judge Dredd running around.
I agree. I think it'll grow on you.
But the interesting
thing
for Diggle,
on you, I mean stop annoying you as much.
The interesting thing for Diggle, though, is that he knows that Damien Darhk is the cat who put the hit out on his brother.
Yeah. See, I mean, this is the Hive guy, so
yeah,
there has to be something there. And oh my, how we would love to go ask Deadshot what was going on with that, but
we can't because he's been absconded.
Right. You think they'll even let us get like a flashback scene with him or something? Or he's just going to be written off entirely, isn't he?
Yeah, I think he is, probably. It's going to be a thing where, like, it's going to, if they even bother with it at all, it's going to be like a bit where we see Damien Darhk in a flashback telling a dude who's standing there who we can only see the guy's blurry arm in the foreground.
Right.
And it'll be Deadshot, but we're not actually going to see him. And they probably won't say Deadshot. They'll probably
you know what it's going to be like. You remember?
They'll just be referring to him as Lawton.
Yeah. Now look, what is going to? You remember? There's a woman who comes to his cell and explains to him that there's an organization. Blah blah blah. Your basic dark ops recruitment pitch. Mm-hmm. We're going to see that woman, different room, explaining to a guy what he's about to do, and she like straps something on the wrist of this person that's off screen and says, "How does that fit, Mr. Lawton?" And then we cut away. Yeah. So if I'm right, Deadshot's wrist will be appearing in the new season.
Yep. So it looks like we're going to have more interpersonal conflict between Quentin and Laurel. Mm-hmm. And I'm sure there's going to be some kind of weird interpersonal conflict between Sarah and Laurel and Sarah and Quentin, because Sarah is going to be weird if they even decide to tell Quentin that she's back. I don't know. They'll probably drag that shit on for 5 or 6 episodes at least.
I've gone back and forth about how I want that to go down. I actually want them to tell Quentin about Sarah having been revived. But the reason is that it will hopefully kibosh this whole "you lied to me, what happened to my daughter" relapsed alcoholism situation. I don't care about his personal flaws. I don't give a damn. I really don't. I don't care that he's an alcoholic. Don't care that his daughter's an alcoholic. Don't care that they lie to each other a lot. Have you lived in a family? These are normal things. You just do the fucking story.
All right. Now, one thing I'm really very excited about is the return of Matt Ryan as Constantine.
God. The entire podcast
and I really hope
could have honestly just been us going, yay! Yeah.
It could have been, yeah. Like
that might be our review for the episode, actually is.
I promise you it won't be.
30 minutes.
Listen.
30 straight minutes.
Please listen.
I mean, or come be happy with us. Either way.
So
I've loved as excited as I've been about that, and obviously we were. That little shot of him stamping out a cigarette is at least as exciting as anything else.
It is.
Get right to the heart of the character. What do you do? Well, I begrudgingly mess with dark forces and smoke a lot. Excellent. Join our show.
Yeah. So I honestly hope that that episode is a hit, a ratings blockbuster or whatever they require it to be to bring back Matt Ryan, for God's sake.
I think it has to
As
break
many
the
dumbs as
internet
we
for that
can.
to happen.
Please break the internet.
The first time you've ever used that phrase with anything other than disdain.
I know.
I don't know what it would fucking take. I'm pretty sure there's nothing. I'm pretty sure there's just absolutely nothing that could be done. But at the very least, all of the actors that were under contract have been let go. So we're never going to get this back. It's kind of one of those where we need to go ahead and step past denial and go ahead and go to acceptance. Because I've already done the anger and bargaining and depression thing. Although this feels like bargaining a little bit. we may be looking for anger after we see the actual episode.
Yeah, maybe.
We know how important it would be to actually bring it back. Now, worst case scenario, there's one episode. He is in canon now. I mean, he's already in the trailer. He's already canon. That whole series is a part of the show, and that makes me happy.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. All it would take is like one or two lines to wrap up that show. Like, it would literally take 2 lines of dialogue to wrap up Constantine.
Bring Harold, was it Harold Perrineau? Bring Manny back for just a second. Just long enough. He doesn't even have to talk to the rest of the Arrow crew. Just bring Manny back long enough to say something to John that's like, good job, John. I think we're through this. Whatever. Fucking some weird, sappy, wasn't that great, we won the game thing. And the rest of the Arrow crew is looking at John like, who the hell are you talking to? Fine. Freaking fine.
All we need, we don't even need to see Manny at all. All we need to do is like Harold.
That's a good point.
Harold, sorry. Oliver is just like worried about this dude, doesn't know if he knows what he's doing. He goes to get him for whatever ceremony they're about to do to bring back Sarah. He walks into the other room, and there's John smoking a cigarette and yelling at thin air, screaming, "You betrayed me. I don't care what the ends were."
Oh, that's perfect. No, just a cut scene. Like, you come back from commercial or some crap. John was supposed to be somewhere doing something. He comes back from that scene, and just as he's exiting a room that you can see the entirety of and is clearly empty, he just says, like, "Sawed off, you wanker." Yeah. And comes back, and they ask him who you're talking to, and says, "Oh, you wouldn't be able to see him. It's an old friend." Great. Fucking great.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay. All right. Well, I feel a little bit of mourning in our hearts right now, but we'll have to move on. Honestly,
and at the end of the episode, John tells him, "If you never need me to call me." There's also a guy that you could talk to, and tells him about Spectre. What's his name? I'm blanking on his name.
Corrigan?
Yeah. Jim Corrigan.
Yeah. What we're hoping is that the show gets continued, obviously. But anyway,
what the hell else is Arrow doing that's so interesting? I mean, you could just...
Honest to God, not that much. Like, all right, no, we're getting actually... You know what? I just realized we've lost track. We have to wrap up Vixen.
We do have to wrap up Vixen.
We've been meaning to actually, take stock of that once it was all released and put our 2 cents in and, say how we felt that would reflect on the rest of the series. But what it amounted to was only 30 minutes worth of actual content. So
yeah,
didn't exactly
magic
spread that
will be
out.
there.
But there is. There's magic. There's they've got Talamans already. And have we already mentioned this as a convention to get back to the actual show we're supposed to be talking about? Because this is a problem we're having recently. Damien Darhk. Honestly, on a scale of 1 to 10 of fun for me, he feels like a 12 already.
He does. I'm really excited about Damien Darhk.
He looks like he's really enjoying being evil. No one on this show yet has really just embraced who they are.
I really like
They're
Neil
the bad
McDonough.
guy.
Every time I see Neil McDonough do anything, I really like it. He was the one shining gleam of hope for me in Minority Report.
Right.
I love him as Dum Dum Dugan over in the Marvel Cinematic Universe. So he looks like he's having a lot of fun here with Damien Darhk. One of my big fears when they started talking about Damien Darhk in season 3 was that season 4 was just going to be, it's the other Ra's al Ghul. And this doesn't appear to be the case with Damien Darhk.
No, and he brings him up, and I think I've said this before. When I was watching the finale of Arrow. I had a moment where I had kind of tuned out. Just ADD took over. I wasn't completely paying attention. And then I heard Raish sing something about a Damien. And I went, what? Because I was thinking Damian Wayne, obviously.
Right.
I was very wrong. But this may end up being more fun. Actually, I'm certain it will because Damian Wayne's a prick. But this could be a lot more fun because dude, even in the trailers, they kind of hang a lantern on him, really. What does he say to Oliver? You know, oh, you don't know who I am. I'm Damien Darhk. Something like that. Dude just introduces himself. I mean, he seems like the cool guy, the new cool guy at a school kind of attitude. Just walks in, immediately assumes, you know, everyone's going to be happy to see him.
He's Tiny Rick.
Right. Go watch Rick and Morty, you assholes. This guy, though, just walks in ready to go. And he already seems he's got a demeanor that feels big and feels, I mean, honestly, he's maniacal in that playful kind of sense. Like, he's going to have a lot of fun fucking everyone else up. Look at him at the head of the table saying, I'm from an organization that wants to let the city die. There's no gravity to what he's saying. He doesn't care. This is just, man, it's another day at the office for him, and he's having a good day with it. No big deal. Yeah. He's stopping an arrow in the middle of the air. No big deal. Like, my favorite part of this, just out of the trailer that we've seen, my favorite part is when he turns to one, it's a guy, I don't know if it's a guard of his or a guard of someone else's. No idea. But he turns to a guy and kind of puts his hand on his chest. And he's already fascinating enough as a character that I'm already wondering in the course of this trailer, oh my God, what's going to happen to that guy? Mm-hmm. That's important, man.
Yeah, I'm excited for Neil McDonough, man.
He's already got me.
Now that I see Neil McDonough, though, I can't help but wonder, should he have been Oliver Queen?
No. I say no.
What did we miss out on here? Oh.
I say no, but it wouldn't have been a bad show. I mean, it's not like he couldn't have done, you know, deliberate sourpuss for 3 seasons like Oliver has just fine.
Oh, yeah. Alrighty. So, Arrow's getting a new suit.
Sure.
And I guess he's going to be called Green Arrow now, even though the show will still be called Arrow.
It wouldn't hurt my feelings if they rebranded that at all.
Right? God, I really do. Like, we know that Colton Haynes has said that he's coming back as Roy in this season. It really, I really do. I kind of hope that he comes back as, full-fledged Arsenal.
Yeah, it would be nice.
I kind of want to see the whole team together. But, you know, I don't know.
You're going to have some nice, rewarding scene later with him where he's going to come in, do a little guest appearance, blah, 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 stop somebody, who knows.
Right.
And then as he's leaving, someone's going to say, so you're kind of an outlaw now, right? He's, yeah, I guess I am. And wander off screen.
What are you, you're just kind of an outlaw, huh? Yeah, you still put on the red hood? Nah, a buddy of mine has that.
Right? Somebody's going to tell him, oh, be careful then. You know, things are getting kind of weird out there. There's landscapes changing. Yeah, I know one of those too. And just walks off.
Mm-hmm. You know.
And Dave will squill himself to death.
I love Red Hood and the Outlaws, man.
I know you do. I know you do, buddy.
And can you blame me?
Mm-mm.
All right, so what do you think is going to be the eventual outcome of this season? What are you predicting as far as let's say we get mid-season, we do the Arrow Flash crossover, they send the Legends of Tomorrow on their way. What does the Arrow Season 4 have to offer us beyond setting up Legends of Tomorrow? Because I'm not seeing a whole lot.
No, I mean, what could I possibly predict for Season 5 at this point?
Yeah.
Not a lot. Except they've upped the ante every year. So I'm going to say Season 5 is extraterrestrial superpower. I'm not saying you have to do Superman, and I doubt you're going to get to do Martian Manhunter. But
right.
Extraterrestrial intervention at this point seems like the next place to go.
Yeah.
Because we're already going to do other dimensions. We're already going to do magic. I mean, how many other realms can you really draw a power from?
Well, just thinking of Arrow's Rogues Gallery, I think sadly, the most interesting place they could go is what I said. We have a Lazarus Pit in play right now. Malcolm Merlyn is in charge of it. I think we will see Tommy resurrected, and I think eventually it will come out that Moira has been resurrected as well.
Those thoughts frighten me.
I know, but I would say that
because I don't know if there's anything I could be less interested in those two things.
Well, yeah,
other than Thea having another love interest.
Bear with me here.
Tommy or Moira coming back would be better than Thea having a love interest.
Malcolm Merlyn. Oh, God, I didn't consider that. Malcolm Merlyn, he's Ra's al Ghul now. There is no magician.
True.
He brings Tommy back to fill that role.
He's the magician. Okay.
Yeah.
All right, that's not impossible.
I believe he took up the role in the comics as well. But anyway.
Probably.
But
yeah,
how messed up would it be? How messed up would it be if Malcolm wound up finding a way to bring back Ollie's dad?
Well, bad for a lot of reasons. One would obviously be just why. Like, what would he come back for? What was the unfinished business? I mean, dude gave his son a to-do list and ate a bullet. Fuck him.
Right?
Two.
I'm assuming that Oliver...
Actor.
Yeah. Well, I'm assuming that Oliver buried his dad on that island somewhere.
Honestly, never occurred to me. I just assumed that he did like a burial at sea situation. Because you know what happens when you have a raft in the middle of the sea? Sharks. Sharks happen. I'm not making that up. Sharks happen. Look it up.
Yeah.
I assume at some point you feed the sharks and try to get the fuck on somewhere else.
Yeah. Which exactly might be the reason you wouldn't throw a dead, bleeding body into the ocean.
Oh, that's exactly why you do before you try to change the trail. So,
I'm assuming he has a buried father somewhere on that island, though, and they could easily say that. And but the reason would be psychological. You bring back Oliver's father, make him an agent of the League of Assassins, and use him to psychologically mess with Oliver. Much like we've seen Scarecrow do with Batman. You failed me, Bruce. You failed me.
See, that would still kill me, though.
I know.
Something that really, really impressed me about the show was early on...
I'm not coming up with ideas that I want to happen. I'm coming up with ideas that I'm
that
fairly
you're
certain
worried
that
might
they will
actually
do.
happen.
Right. Yeah,
and something that would kill me, though, is like season 1 was all about checking names off a list that he didn't even make. He's become a much more realized person over the course of the seasons. I mean, even between season 1 and 2, season 2 we obviously, it panned critically by you and I.
Right.
It did still at least take the step of getting him off that fucking list and onto his own business. And then, season 3, he's balls deep in his own business at this point and fuck anyone who gets in his way. And then by season 4, hopefully we've learned, wait a second, I have goals. I have people. I think these two need to be kind of intertwined. That would completely reset me in a way that would be absolutely uninteresting.
Yeah.
Loathsome.
Now, what do you think the chances are that they'll kill off Felicity in this season? Because I previously stated on the show that I thought that they were probably going to wind up killing Felicity so to open the door for Laurel and Ollie to get together finally.
That's a tough one. Felicity's carrying way too much of the weight. As far as, man, she's one of the best characters they have on the show. And while it can be extremely,
I agree.
It can be a huge, innovative, and productive change to kill off a character that's that popular. I'm not sure they're at that juncture. I just don't know if I could get behind that as the.
I don't know that I could get behind it, but I don't know that I'd put it past them.
That too.
It seems pretty blatant in the season 4 trailer that we saw that Damien Darhk is. He's gunning for Felicity.
Actually, here's my reason. What was it? Which one of them said something about the tone being different until Felicity finally gets kidnapped?
I think that was. I want to say that was Guggenheim saying that they were actually really trying not to have Felicity be kidnapped this year.
Right. Here's my real reason is because, and I'm making this up as I go, but I'm going to run with it. They would have said until something happens to Felicity, not until she gets kidnapped. It's because they have such a specific thing they're avoiding that I don't think it's on their plate at all.
Yeah, I think that...
Can't speak for season 5 and contract renewals. Right. Haven't looked at any of their contracts. I don't know when they're up. Because that's how you really tell when someone dies.
Right.
If Diggle's contract is up after this year, you better believe he might die in the season finale.
Yeah. I don't know. I wouldn't put it past him. And to be perfectly honest, it's a character that's beloved. What better way to motivate another character into being interesting?
Yeah, but they've killed off a lot of people, and Laurel's not interesting yet. They've killed off a few people, and Thea's not interesting yet. Apparently, they're not good at turning that trick. So,
but they think they are because they keep doing it.
Yeah, I know.
They keep doing it.
I know. Look, there's a lot that worries me. There really is. Overall, though, and don't get me wrong, a lot of it is the fact that some new blood's coming. I mean, even that one episode with Constantine is exciting, obviously, but yeah, it's a one-off. Getting to the the non-one-offs, we've got Mr. Terrific. We've got Damien Darhk is apparently going to be more interesting than he ever was in the comics because he's basically unmentioned there.
Right.
There's a lot to look forward to as far as that goes. Merlyn being Rage is going to have an entire... We've barely addressed it, but aside from all of our conspiratorial theories about what might happen to him, he is likely going to have a lot of screen time.
Yeah.
There's just very little that John Barrowman is involved in that he doesn't get some screen time on.
Yeah.
So the League of Assassins is going to be involved, and we're going to have to see what's happening. That being said, it's a lot of the new blood, but it's also going to be a lot of the old school stuff. We're going to want to see what happens to Diggle and what, at the very least, what codename is he finally takes on. Because I personally still don't think it's going to be from the books. I think they're going to make up a new one.
Yeah, me too. Now, how likely do you think it is that, because we've seen in the trailer that Malcolm and Nyssa are fighting, how likely do you think it is that he basically like excommunicates her from the League of Assassins? She goes and finds her father's body and brings him back to take down Malcolm Merlyn.
0.
You think 0?
I think 0. Now, I say it completely corporeally. I haven't seen any casting news on the guy.
Right, but that seems like it would be like a good mid-season.
Yeah, no, if I see casting news on the guy at some point, I absolutely believe that what you just said is what happens. But short of that, no. I think it's going to be more that she hates Malcolm. She hates him, but I think it's going to be more that she tries him over and over again and tries his strength over and over again and just keeps finding that he is actually kind of as good as he said he was and ends up being kind of his right-hand man. I think they're going to end up being kind of a fairly dynamic duo, you know? Because they're a couple of badasses.
I would even go so far.
People like that in narrative generally have a couple choices. They're either going to team up platonically, have sex eventually, or kill each other eventually.
Yeah, but here's the thing, though. I'm assuming that she's fighting him over bringing Sarah back, and he will excommunicate her, and she will go in search of her father's body. I'm assuming she knows where her father's body is. Maybe even, to get a little extra help, call in Talia.
Yeah, Talia would be a nice addition.
Talia and Nyssa come back with their father's body. You're not the true Ra's al Ghul.
That would be a nice addition. Actually, it'd be fun if Talia took over the role in general.
Yeah.
Just be more proper that way, wouldn't it?
Be kind of fun.
Now, I'm down with you right up to the point where he allows the Lazarus pit to be used for that purpose, and she completely balks at it, fights him over it. I don't think he kicks her out. I think he would see her as too useful a warrior, no matter what the circumstance. Because as much as they infight, if he says go fight this guy, she still has to do it, and he knows that. So he would never sacrifice that sword. But I think it's her quitting in that case.
Maybe. But Malcolm is also the type who would be like, I can't operate this. I can't run this with an agent against me. Like, constantly.
See, I think he's completely down for that. I mean, one of the last couple lines they have in the finale is basically, I'm going to try to kill you, right? And he pretty much tells her, I know you're going to try. See you then.
Yeah.
I think he's okay with operating in that little in that environment.
But how fun would it be if like she runs off and actually gets her father's body in Talia and comes back and he's got Tommy Merlyn now, like his little undead warrior magician.
No, they're gonna have like a little de facto fight off my dead warrior versus your dead warrior. How do you feel?
Yeah, I don't know, man. I'm just looking at their options and trying to, I can see certain gateways to certain things that they might utilize, whether I want them to or not.
Yeah, no. And they've been thinking about it even more than we have. So God only knows.
God help them. All right. So do we have any more on our Arrow season 4 what to expect episode?
Honestly, nope.
Yeah. I'm
emptying quivers. That's all I got.
Oh man. All right. Well, I guess we're going to wrap it up and go watch Gotham. So we have been and shall remain DC On Screen. You can find us on iTunes, Stitcher, DCOnScreen.com. We are proud members of the Giant Size Team Up Network. And if you're interested in a Marvel podcast that's pretty similar to ours, go check out Matt Carroll and Jeff Randall at the Marvel Cinematic Universe podcast or MCUcast.com. Until our Gotham premiere episode, keep some DC on your screen.
Go Ford for your next truck or SUV and find an easier way to buy with Woodhouse Ford today. Lease a 2023 Ford F-150 Super Crew STX 4x4 for $419 per month for 36 months and 7,500 miles per year. $3,000 down or trade equity, first payment, and $299 doc fee due at signing. And experience the convenience of buying with Woodhouse Ford today. Security deposit waived. Tax, title, license extra with approved credit. Expires 10/31/2023.
Okay, round 2. Name something that's not boring.
A laundry? Ooh, a book club. Computer solitaire, huh?
Ah, sorry, we were looking for Chumba Casino. That's right, ChumbaCasino.com has over 100 casino-style games. Join today and play for free for your chance to redeem some serious prizes. ChumbaCasino.com. No purchase necessary. Void where prohibited by law. 18+ terms and conditions apply. See website for details.